today we have a special guest. Applause, applause. All right, and today she's gonna tell us her name in a minute. Today we have Ethiopian food, and I purchased this from Shagga Cafe and Restaurant in Hyattsville. So hers, and she'll tell you what she has.
Oh, okay. Yay, me.
And then this is mine. And she ordered the
Lamb tibs.
And what's this?
This is cabbage, and this is collard greens.
Okay. And this is this is one of the things where like one of those hand foods.
Right. So you notice there are no utensils on this table because you eat with these.
Yes.
And it's a part of like community. It's a whole communal thing.
All right. So this is what I ordered. This is the chicken. This is the boiled egg. This is the lentils, and this is a little tomato salad. And
Take out, but usually it's on like a communal plate if you go to a restaurant, and each of the food is divided up into little sections, and you essentially break the injera and eat from wherever you want to eat.
And see, that would drive me crazy. Just being honest, that would drive me. I bought plates for whatever reason. Whatever. All right, so my essential agua. What are you drinking?
Okay, I have pure aqua salsa water, berry flavored, and this is definitely from Aldi's.
Yes. Definitely from Aldi's. All right, so what's your name? How did we meet?
Okay.
A little bit about yourself.
So my name is Kamisha Lee, and I'm an art teacher, and that's how I met Miss Chanel over here. She was teaching math, and we were at we were at a Catholic school long time ago, over 15 years ago, and that's how we met. I was the art teacher there, and she was the math teacher.
All right, so the spongy consistency of what is this called again?
Injera.
The injera is spongy.
And it's a little tangy too. The taste is tangy.
Oh,
That's why I say it's a very acquired taste.
so that's sort of like the lemon-ish.
I think it's the way they ferment the flour before they actually it's like a cook steam process to make this.
Okay, because I thought it was like maybe the chicken that I purchased.
Because if you ate the chicken by itself, you probably wouldn't taste that. It wouldn't have that kind of a tangy taste to it.
Let's try it.
My lamb tastes good. Very good.
It's definitely the bread. I mean the injera.
Most people that are not used to it, so that's why now in Ethiopian restaurants, they actually offer rice.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because again, injera is like a very acquired. You have to actually like it, or grow up and like it, or grow up and appreciate it, because you had no choice.
I saw the rice option.
But you want to be authentic.
Yeah, but I figured to go through the whole experience. Like, why am I gonna order Ethiopian food and get rice if this is they traditionally eat it this way? You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. What is this mukbang? So what are you doing?
Oh, okay. So today, I want to talk about the joys of thrifting. I want to show a lot of not a lot because I have so many finds, but I just grabbed some different favorite finds, and I just want to explain what you do when you go into a thrift store, what you can expect, how do you go in the thrift store and not get overwhelmed by what's in there. And
that is me. I'm like,
yeah,
there's too much going on.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what to do when you go in there. I actually used to shop as a side hustle where I would shop at the thrift store for vintage clothing and then resell them to vintage consignment stores or just vintage stores in this area. I don't really do it as much now because thrift stores used to be a place where you can get a lot of bargains. And you still can, but not necessarily to resell.
Oh.
So it's a great bargain for me to buy for myself, but I would need it to be cheap enough for me to resell it and make a profit. And I feel like thrift stores have kind of gotten hip.
And what people are doing?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily what people are doing, but they're like, oh, people are now into the vintage thing, so we're going to hike the prices up. You know, where back in the day, nobody wanted vintage clothing, essentially. But now it's like all the craze, so they started getting really smart and raising their prices. So, but I mean, there are ways around that because they do have sale days. But then, as somebody going in to their store on a sale day, it's crazy.
Really?
So, oh yeah. I mean, when everything in the store is 50% off.
Oh wow.
Oh,
yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah. So you kind of have to go in there quickly, know what you want, and get out of there. Especially for someone that's just it's not their thing. For me, it's fine. I can be in there for hours. But I found as I've gotten older, I don't have the tolerance for it.
Patience is running thin.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an acquired taste.
It is.
But the actual food is the spices are very good.
It's very flavorful. It's just delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Just
the injera is just here, kind of throws it off if you're not used to it.
I'm just not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So what else can you eat with this? Because I feel like I'm gonna finish my food and I'll still have this.
I really don't know. I mean, essentially, if I had some leftover injera, like you might make some split peas with it,
some curry,
or some curry. I mean, I've never tried it with curry, but they do have a few dishes that. So like they have So you know, if you go to different Ethiopian restaurants, they're similar, but just like in any place, people cook their food differently. So sometimes I would go to a place that their cabbage tastes like it has been curried. This one does not taste like it's been curried. So I assume that it could probably taste good with or you know what, you can always be the first or second person to try it. You know?
Yeah.
Or you just make something up, you know?
I said curry because she's a Trinidadian woman.
That's right. It's all about curry. You know?
So I'm like, you know what? The only thing I could think of is like curry.
Yeah. Maybe even curry some cabbage or curry chicken with some cabbage in it.
Or some chickpeas.
Or curry chickpeas.
Yeah.
Because they have so you have the red lentils. They also have a dish that's yellow split peas that tastes a lot like what Korean people or Trinidadians call dal. I don't know, do y'all have dal?
Yeah.
Right.
Dal and rice,
yeah, exactly. So it's almost the exact. It always tastes exactly the same because essentially it's just split peas, a little bit of seasoning, and their split peas. Dal is cooked very soft, so it's almost soupy, but their split peas is a little bit more.
It's hard?
No, it's not hard, but it's more whole.
Okay.
It's not really watery.
Okay. Like the traditional dal is like a soup, but not really.
Yeah.
Thicker.
Exactly.
Than soup. But some split pea soup, banging.
Yeah. So it's interesting because all the islands eat similar food, just cooked a little bit differently, and sometimes just have totally different names. But I mean, it's the same thing. It's kind of cool because it's like I can relate to you because our cuisine is the same. Because I'm used to eating plantains, I'm used to eating chickpeas.
Yeah.
Well, we don't eat a lot of collard greens in Trinidad because the first time I ever had collard greens was here in America.
I've never had
from
collard
Americans, but now Ethiopia is in Africa and they cook with collard greens. So I guess it depends. But the islands, we more eat like kalaloo, which is something called a dasheen bush, which is like a huge leaf that's like grows like this big, and
delicious.
And it's good, and mix that with okra and spices, and but the food is pretty much similar, just the way it is prepared. And there's kind of like a base. It's like most Caribbean food is very spicy. And jerk is only really in Jamaica. Trinidadians make jerk stuff, but it's not like traditionally our food. That is Jamaican. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna have Caribbean food, and they go straight to jerk. No, it's like everybody with an accent is not Jamaican.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of a mistake that people make. So if somebody sounds like they have an accent, just say, "Oh, are you Caribbean?"
Mm-hmm.
Don't say, "Oh, are you Jamaican?" Because there are so many
That's the
islands.
go-to.
Yeah, there's so many, and so you won't sound ridiculous. There are
Mm-hmm.
so many islands in the Caribbean.
I'm hungry, y'all.
Me too. I waited all day
I'm
for
starving.
this meal, and it's worth it.
I'm starving. I'm like, I'm just gonna let her talk. And you see me like, ah. It's like, essentially, that's me in every video.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Now Miss Lee's gonna help us because for someone like me going into a store and seeing so many options, like I get overwhelmed. If there's stuff on the floor, oh my goodness, my anxiety is like through the roof. So for individuals with similar personalities to mine, for stuff like that would have us like overwhelmed. Like, what are tips? Like,
Well,
for newbies?
here's the thing. Kind of go in there with the game plan. Go in there when you have a lot of time. Don't go in there like if you're rushing, if you're just like a novice, okay? So, for example, let's just say you're going in there because let's just say you're about to start school. Let's just say you're about to start college. Well, you know you have to have a whole bunch of fly stuff, especially if you're going away, right? However, you know how much money you spent on your books and this, that, and the other, so you don't have a lot of money. But you're the type of person that really wants to stand out, like you want to be different. So the thrift store can really help you do that. So here's the thing. When I go into a thrift store, I always go to because I like international clothes, and I'll show you some pieces a little bit later, but I always go into the international section first. And I go there because they're going to have the most unusual clothing. A lot of African prints, Indian prints, which I bought many samples of some Indian print, Indian clothing that I purchased, and I also alter so they can fit me. Okay, so sometimes you have to go in there with an open mind. Well, really all the time. You go in there with an open mind and you just kind of have an idea of what you might want. So going back to that college student that's trying to be a little bit different, maybe want to stand out. Again, only has a limited amount of money. So I start with the international section, especially if you're into different types of print. Then I always go to the dress section. Why? Because a dress is a complete outfit. Because if you go to the shirts or you go to the pants, first of all, pants are boring. I mean, really, like, pants are boring. What is interesting are dresses, and then second, nice shirts. But dresses are like number one. And again, it's a complete outfit, okay? So essentially you go in there, like I go into the international department, and then after I do that, I go through the dresses. Now, lots of thrift stores now have dresses according to size, which actually helps. But then sometimes things kind of get mixed in that are not sized right. So I tend to not stop at each dress. So I would take my hand actually, and I would kind of go down the side of the dresses, and it causes the hanger to kind of bend in a direction so I can kind of see like the pattern a little bit better. So I know where I'm not going to stop. If I see something that's like totally ugly, like I'm not going to stop at that. Now, a lot of times too, I always go for the long dresses first just because I like wearing long dresses. So I could even look at the bottom of where the dress hangs, and I can kind of see what that dress kind of looks like. Because like right now you have those standard summer dresses with the bright stripes and different things like that. I'm not interested in that because I want something that's different. So again, I go across the hangers and kind of bend them on an angle, and then I can kind of see what's there. And then I just pull them, and I don't take my time and like really looking over the dress completely. When I pull it, I'm like, oh, I like this, blah, 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 the size looks right. And then I just kind of put it in the cart. Because the thing is, you could spend 5 minutes looking at one dress, or you can spend 10 minutes going down one aisle, pulling a whole bunch of stuff, and have this basket full of stuff in like maybe a half an hour, and then take like the next half an hour to always find like a space back where the towels are, because nobody's really back there, nobody wants towels, or like where the where the fitted sheets are, because nobody's really shopping for fitted sheets, right? And I'll just move those things to the side and hang up the stuff that I picked up off the shelf. And then I go through my process of elimination. So like, for example, with dresses, you should always like check to make sure, or anything that has a zipper, make sure the zipper works, goes up and down. Also too, when you kind of go through, it's almost like maybe two different sorting things. So you pull the stuff quickly off the shelf, you put them in your cart. Here's the thing, the really good stuff that you really like, hide that at the bottom of your cart, because there are people that will take stuff out of your cart. It has happened to me.
Are you serious?
They will take stuff out of your cart. So normally my whole thing is to put like, oh, I really like this, and when I get a chance to really look at it, I put that in the bottom of the cart and I put something really ugly over top of it. I mean ugly, okay? Because that helps deter people.
Pause.
Yes.
So if you're like pushing your cart or you're next to your cart, they'll still dig their hand in it?
Sometimes people do that. I had somebody take a it was a comforter. It was a nice comforter. I mean, very warm and everything, and I had that in my cart. And next thing you know, it disappeared. And we were in a very small thrift store, and I was in there with my best friend, Cerise. Can I say that? Well, anyway, I was in there with my best friend, and I'm like, Cerise, somebody took my blanket. And this somebody was in the fitting room, and they had their whole cart in the fitting room. And the blanket was under the cart. So I could see it in the fitting room, because, you know, the fitting room has like a space. And so I just started getting loud. I'm like, oh, okay, so they got to come out of there sometime. Oh, it gets terrible in the thrift store now. When you find something, like when you find a really good find, and you did all of that looking, unless somebody's going to come by and take what you spent hours looking for, oh, it's war. It is. So I was telling, oh, that's okay. She got to come out of there sometime. She got to come. And so we essentially went to kind of like the other part of the store. I don't know how long that lady spent in that dressing room. All I know is that by the time we went back to that area, my my comforter was thug. That's right. I'm a thrift thug. My comforter was on the outside of the door, and that woman was gone. I never saw her face, but when I said, oh, she got to come out of there sometime, she knew, look, that probably was so, like, but this is the thing. Don't be disrespectful. Don't take stuff out of people's cart. That's the other thing.
She said, I'm not trying to die over some sheets.
Yeah.
She got to come out of there sometime. What were you going to do when she came out?
Accost her. Embarrass her.
You gonna throw hands?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I would not know.
But this is some of y'all teach it.
I'm just saying, you gotta fight for what's yours.
There's somebody teacher in DC ready to throw hands.
Over a comforter.
Over a comforter.
But anyway, going back to what happens when you go into the thrift store. So again, if you like to be really funky and different, international section first, then go to the dresses. I usually go to the long dresses, like I said, and then kind of look at the side and use your hand to kind of, even to your hand helps with like feeling textures. So you don't want to stop on something that's like, it's just the texture you don't like. Like there's like this crushed velvet. Oh my God, I hate that texture. Anyway, so there are things I know I'm not going to stop on. Then you throw all that stuff in your cart, go to the areas that you really like. Like I said, pants are boring. Unless you need some pants, like for work or something like that, don't waste your time going to the pants section, because that's a waste of time. Okay. Also, I do visit the men's section because I find a lot of really cool like African shirts. I think I may have gotten, this is one of my favorite finds too. Can I stand up?
Yeah.
And show them. So this is one of my favorite finds, and I think I got this in the men's section. My favorite finds, and it's like a vintage shirt. It has 2 pockets here. You see it's an Egyptian motif. Like right now, a lot of shirts that are very popular, and it's front and back. A lot of shirts that are very popular are those kind of African print shirts, and they are why can't I think of the name right now? It's just, but anyway, they usually have like a long print in the front. They usually come in bright colors, and every single person is wearing them. So I think I probably got this shirt probably maybe 15 years ago.
Really?
And you don't hardly ever see these types of shirts like this. It's peach. Like right now the color's starting to rub, but I mean it's still funky with this Egyptian motif. Like come on, this is life. This is life. And when you go out, nobody has this shirt on. That's the other thing I like about thrift stores, because when you go, and this has happened to me 3 times in my life, where I was wearing the same thing somebody else was wearing.
Really? Was it something that you
3
purchased?
times.
This is something you purchased in the store, or this is
something I purchased in a regular store. Yeah. Charlotte Russe.
Yeah.
One when bustiers were out, and I went somewhere and a girl had on the same bustier. Oh no!
What's wrong with that?
I don't like wearing what somebody else has on because I'm an artist. So artists like to stand out. I'm not a loud artist, but I like to stand out like in my clothing amongst the crowd. Yeah. Right? So when you go into a thrift store, the thing that I already know is that I'm going to save money over top what I would do if I went into a department store. So like, for example, I was thinking about wearing this white suit to an event because it was like a white and black party. And I saw this nice suit one of my students had on for like her dance. And she said, oh, I got it at Macy's. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to Macy's. $159 just for the jacket. I said, absolutely not. I could get at least 15 pieces or more from the thrift store for $159. So I left. And it's funny because, and I'll tell you about Fia's later, I actually went home and found an item that I only paid $1 for that I wore to the event, and it was beautiful. It's from a store called Fia's Boutique, Fia's Fabulous Finds in Washington, D.C. And on Tuesdays, it's Dollar Basement Day. So everything in the basement is $1. And about 60% of the clothing is brand new.
So Fia's is a boutique in Northwest DC, here in Washington, DC. And they cater to sizes 0 to 6X. So 6X, but on Tuesdays they have a $1 sale where everything in the basement is $1. Wow. And for the most part, they have some used stuff, but at least I would say 60 to 75% of stuff is brand new. I don't know what part of China they're getting it from, because you could have it like in little bags and stuff. And when I say it's like now it's getting a lot more popular, so it's a fight when you get down there. You got to know what you're doing and pulling, but it's worth it. So I even bought you a dress for my last Fia's haul, and actually I have more stuff for her, but I have to get to her another day because it was just too much going on. Too much going on because I have like at least 3 pieces for you. Because when I go there, I go like, oh, this will fit this person, this will fit that person, and people kind of appreciate it. I mean, it's only $1, but people kind of appreciate it when you think about them, especially people that are not really shoppers, and that. I always feel like you need to have clothes for the occasion when it comes up. Like I don't go out because I'm like, oh, I want to go to this place, I'm gonna go out to look for something. It's like what happened when I went to Macy's and got the sticker shock, $159 for a jacket.
Ridiculous.
I don't even know how people survive, like buying new clothes. I don't even know. But again, going back to when I go out to the thrift store, I already know that I'm going to get a bargain. I already know I'm going to find something different. Even though you find stuff that essentially was in a regular store, it may have been in a Macy's, may have been a this, may have been a that. I know I'm not going to pay the full price that they paid whenever they paid it. Yeah. Okay. And one thing I like about buying vintage clothes is that, one, it has survived for decades. Now, you buy some of the stuff now, the quality.
Those little see-through
maxi
dresses that you see right through everybody's pancake and all that.
And all peeled up after you wash it one time. I mean, I have some vintage clothing that's just amazing. And I'm saving some, but one day I might fit back into it. Like, I just cannot get rid of it. So we'll
cannot be bothered with her.
We'll see. One day I will fit back into it. But the thing about it is that and even for children's clothing, like I don't have kids, but I have gone out, like I buy stuff for my goddaughter here and there, and it's stuff that their mom can't get from Target. They're like, oh, Aunt Kamisha is the one that gets us the cool stuff. I get the little print stuff, the little tutus, and I'm spending like $5 here, $3 there, stuff that's custom made. And you're going to see that when I actually show you some of my finds.
And also, here's another thing. When you go into a thrift store, go in with an open mind. Because if you're a creative person like myself, and maybe her.
I'm creative. I just don't like. And honestly, it's not even like thrift stores. Like if I go into like a regular store and they're like, not to say a thrift store is not a regular store, but when I go to like a department store, if there's stuff on the floor and if there are clothes piled everywhere, I'm out.
Yeah, she wouldn't make it 1 minute in the thrift store.
Anxiety.
She would have to go with a sponsor like myself.
So, okay. So here's the deal. When Leah, is that her name?
Who?
The person that owns the
Fia.
When Fia has her next dollar, whatever, and when you are available, let's go and I'll film.
Okay, so it's a Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday, noon. But people have been getting. See, I think a lot of people have found out about it and they're buying clothes and shipping it back to countries. But it's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff. So you have to go in there. One, I always tell my best friend, don't go in there with a purse that you have to hold in your hands. You have to have over the shoulder ready for war.
I'm not a pocket purse person. I have a little thing that I got from Panama when I went, and I keep my life in there. If anyone knows,
does it wrap around your body?
No, that thing will slip right in my little thing and keep it pushing, like ready to run. I don't got time for all this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a satchel that I made. A couple of different things I made that I could, throw stuff in there.
Okay. This is really good, by the way.
Yeah.
Really good. I waited all day for this meal. I had watermelon earlier.
I was gonna get watermelon for you too, but I tried to call her.
My phone was acting
and the
crazy.
Phone was not. I'm like,
My phone was acting crazy. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, going back to thrifting, go in there with an open mind and not like, oh, this is for today. And I'm going to show you the type of things that I picked up just because, there's like one piece that I regret not getting because I was being some reason cheap that day and $20 was too much, and I have seen the same piece for at least $100 and something, and I'm like, dang, I wish I would have. Some young dude got it before I, because I saw it first, and I was like, Then here he comes and snatches up. Here's another thing. Now this is funny. When you go into a thrift store, if you see somebody that has the same style that you do, you need to move faster because they will snatch up all the cool stuff before you. So if I go in a thrift store and I see somebody with locks and they're bright and colorful and they have on funky clothes, I gotta get in there. I gotta get to the international section first because I know they're going there. And again, the dresses, it's a war, like it really is. But at the end, it's just worth. I just have so much just cool stuff, and all of my best compliments, which is I get a lot of compliments when I actually are dressed up. I would say about 90% I have gotten from the thrift store because. I don't know. It's different. It's just different,
And she bad too.
And then I make stuff too. So like these earrings. So they happen. Yeah, they're actually left. Yeah. So I made these earrings because I go through little phases as an artist, and anybody that's an artist out there knows like. I'm that type of artist that I get like, oh, I want to do this. And then I do it and I'm like, I'm not interested anymore. So I went through a whole leather earring making phase, and I was making earrings based on artistic periods. So like this is Egyptian inspired earring, and it actually happens to match this wonderful thrift store shirt.
Isn't that cute?
Isn't that cute? And so essentially this is just a piece of leather that I probably repurposed from the thrift store, and then I did not paint it on it.
All right.
Another thing, we didn't talk about this before, but since I am a teacher and I'm a human, you're a human, right? Okay.
Alien.
Okay. Well, she's an alien. So, but then again, the aliens want this planet, so we need to. One thing about going to the thrift store is the fact that you are helping the environment as far as purchasing stuff that's already out there. Now, here's the thing for people that are like. Funny about fur, and I don't even know whether or not about fur. So here's the thing.
What do you mean funny about fur?
Funny about fur, like PETA, like people that will throw blood on you because you're wearing a fur coat or something like that.
Okay.
Do they throw blood on you because you're repurposed, like you've gotten the fur from the thrift store? I don't know. I don't know how that goes, but
do you have a fur?
Oh, I have a couple of furs.
Oh.
It was a little bit too hot to bring in, but beautiful. Again, I'm not into. I probably would never buy fur real. I can probably never afford a real fur as far as like, from one of these furriers. But I mean, I got a beautiful vintage fur coat. I mean, it's gorgeous. I don't know what animal's on it, and I'm an animal lover, dog, cat, but this fur was bad. It was bad.
What color is it?
It's like light brown and dark brown. I think it might be fox and something else, and it has like a big band at the bottom, and it has like big cuffs, and it comes in at the waist.
So when do you wear this fur coat?
Well, I haven't worn it in years. I don't know. But it's still in my closet because I will not give it away. And I mean, again, I've been probably thrifting, and it's funny because I was embarrassed. I mean, when you're a kid, you're embarrassed to go into a thrift store. Like, you're embarrassed. So I was that kid, and my mother would take us to the thrift store, and I'd just be like, oh God. Now?
But not even that. You gotta think about it. If you're in there getting secondhand clothes, whoever see you in there getting secondhand clothes too.
I know,
But
that's true.
But you don't think about that as a kid. It's, you're
Right.
just like, well, why are we
It's embarrassing. Like, oh, you want to go to the stores now. Again, we don't even know who's really going to the thrift stores. But let me tell you the thing about kids' clothing. Now, I don't have kids. I do have, I've had about 6,000 students in the past 15, going on 16 years since I teach art. So I teach all the kids in the building, right? And I know the kids go through clothing very fast. So if you have a child that is in a regular school where they don't have to wear a uniform, go to the thrift store. Even Walmart, with their prices as low as they may be, is not any comparison to going to the thrift store. Because you know how your kids grow. You know how hard your kids are on clothing. And, I mean, especially, these girls, boys too, but these girls are very stylish. Very stylish. And your pockets cannot keep up with what they are seeing on TV as, the thing that they need to have. So go to the thrift store, let them pick out their stuff. I'm like, okay.
Go crazy.
Go crazy. Now, if they say, well, how come we can't go to Macy's or Target or whatever? Make it a teachable moment, say, okay, well, we have $100 to spend at Target, and maybe even pull up the website. $100 is going to get you these things. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you'll get like maybe 6 pieces.
What you getting?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe a shirt might cost $10, a little tank top at Target.
Not for school.
Well, I don't know.
Your child better not be wearing no tank top to school. We don't need that distraction.
I don't know. I guess you would have to do this in 2 different days, and then you go to the thrift store and say, okay, we have $100 to spend, and go on the sale days. Now, most thrift stores in this area, the sale day is always the holiday, like July the 4th, Memorial Day, Columbus Day. However, when you sign up for their Savers Club, they'll send you something letting you know, oh, well, we're having a special sale day, 50% off of everything on this day.
That's
so, for
crazy.
Example, on July the 4th, which is a definite sale day, they had a sale day on the Saturday and Sunday before the July the 4th. So I would check with the thrift stores in your area, because most of them, like Mondays, is 25% off everything. Or Tuesdays is senior day. Take your grandma to the thrift store, get discount. Okay? So just look at like the sales that they have. Sometimes they have veteran sales. So if you're a veteran, every whatever day you get 25% off. So use that too to maximize your savings. But especially for the children, because they grow. And then because kids grow out of stuff so fast, so the people that are fueling the thrift stores are the shopaholics. I would say I'm a thrift store shopaholic and not a regular store shopaholic. So all the shopaholics that shop in regular stores, now they want something new and they donate it. Guess what?
Yeah.
I buy that stuff and I only spend maybe 25% of what they spent. So for children, I just see the most beautiful. Oh, I wish I had a girl. Oh, I wish I had a boy. No, not really, but but tons of great stuff, especially for back to school shopping. When you're in the thrift store, like I said, make it not a day, But go in there with some time. You can go in there with your list. If you have a list for your kids, if you have a list for yourself, and if you're just going in there just to explore so that you can build up a very nice wardrobe. And like I said, when I actually show you the examples of some of my favorite finds, we don't have enough time in this world to show you everything that's in my house right now of all of my favorite finds. I was just like, okay, let me just pull some different things here. And that essentially was just in my room. I have a basement full of bins.
We gonna go to her house?
Oh, no. No, I can't.
We want to see the bins. Let her know.
I cannot.
Comment below.
Listen, as an art teacher, the crazy thing is that art teachers are the original hoarders, okay? I am trying not to be a hoarder. I am trying. Like, I am in the process right now of donating art stuff to, there's a place in Greenbelt, and it's a nonprofit, and they're right in the mall, right by the movie theater, and they actually have free art for all. Okay, which is kind of cool because you can just go in, because most places you have to pay for art lessons or things like that. So it's run by volunteers. It's a really cool guy. Shaymar is his name. I kind of ran into the place while I was waiting to go into the movies, and they have free classes. They have special hours for families can come and make artwork. So I have been donating. So you should probably do something there.
That is dope.
I have been donating a lot of things to this place. I think it's called Free Art for All or Art for All. But it's right in Greenbelt Plaza, Maryland, right in front of the movie theater, right there in the lobby. He said it started as a pop-up for art. And then they eventually were able to negotiate a space, and he was able to get a 503, I think it's 503B, so he's a real nonprofit. So if you donate stuff there, you can get the tax credit for it as a tax write-off. So yeah, so I don't want to be a hoarder, okay? I know I don't look it, but I am 46, about to be 47. But anyway, I don't want to be. That's island blood.
Get her going.
But anyway, I don't want to be the woman with the cats and the stuff. So right now I'm going through, but the clothing is like the last thing to go. Like, how can I change this so it could fit me now? And I'm going to show you some things today, a couple of pieces that I got from the thrift store that I'm like, okay, this doesn't fit, but I'm going to make it fit. And because it was just so beautiful, I couldn't leave it there. I'm going to figure out how to make this fit. And I'm no seamstress. Like, I kind of dibble, dabble. I took a couple little classes, but I fake it. And sometimes it actually comes out pretty good. Taking the sleeves off of something, that's like easy. And just stitching it back, like that's easy. Now adding stuff to the side so it can fit everything you got going on the top, that's a little bit, but hey,
make it work.
Make it work, just like she said. So, yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna take a couple more bites of this, and then I can wash my hands and go on to the clothes.
All right. So we're gonna actually finish what was edible to me.
So how was your first experience with Ethiopian food?
It was fine. I think it's just one of those things where I just probably gotta eat it a little more. I just gotta get used to the bread, and that's why I'm actually full. Normally, which is weird, because normally I can eat everything in there and be okay, but I just feel full. And I was also making room for the dessert that we're gonna have today.
What dessert are we having?
All right, so we're not. So typically, right, with my mukbangs, wherever I go to, if the restaurant has dessert, I'll always buy that dessert.
We have Ethiopian dessert?
No.
Okay, good, because I don't think I like it.
Have you had any Ethiopian dessert?
No.
She said that they had baklava, and I'm like, I know this is not Ethiopian. Baklava is not. It's Mediterranean, more Greek, more Grecian. So I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get There's no way I'm gonna get baklava. That's not authentic Ethiopian. Like wherever I get the food from, like the dessert needs to come from there, and that's not authentic. So we're gonna do something a little different again, just cause. So give me a second.
On the bag, so I'm doing some
You're
whole
curious?
foods.
It's something healthy.
Oh,
okay.
It's fruit. Okay, I can stop getting it.
Alright. No tengo postre para Mira. Tenemos sandía, fresas, uvas, melones. Okay.
Okay. All right. Those pineapples look really ripe.
They do.
It's good.
Melones.
Muchas gracias para las frutas.
Gracias.
Yeah.
You gotta roll your R's.
Oh, Lord. Gracias. Muchas gracias. There you go.
Sandía. Me encanta sandía.
That's good.
That's good.
That's what I had earlier. You never get tired of watermelon. This fruit.
Yeah, fruit in general.
Yeah, but my mango is my favorite. Haitian mangoes? Oh, brother.
The last mukbang had mangoes, so I couldn't do it again.
Oh, excuse me.
We had mangoes with pepper sauce.
Mmm.
That thing was so good.
Good. I thank you for my lunch and my dinner.
Oh, yeah. Arándanos. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. Stay tuned for part 2.